And a couple days later, we were talking, and he was all like, you know, there's only ever really been one girl that I've ever truly been in love with. And I was dumb enough to ask, and who's that? And he just pulled one of these. Welcome back to my channel, and today I decided to do another story time. Now, I find that compared to like story time channels that are devoted to that, I don't really have anything super crazy that happens to me that merits a story time, or at least merits a story time that's longer than like 2 minutes. So today I decided I would talk to you about the shortest relationship and worst boyfriend I ever had. Now, I did not date a lot. Back in college, I was like, okay, we're gonna date a couple different people and see what's what. I dressed a lot less, kind of how I dress now, but a lot less well put together, and I attracted basically one kind of dude, which was the gamer dude and emotionally unstable. Probably because at that time, I myself was a bit emotionally unstable, and what do we say, they just attracted whatever. But anyway, this certain individual, we will call him Bob for the sake of anonymity. And Bob and me and a couple of our other friends, he was kind of like a friend in the group. We did the role playing, we did the video games, we did the collectible card game going on, and we, I don't know why, for some reason, hanging out. Now, I will tell you right now, I made the decision to date Bob whilst I was intoxicated, and I will say, never, ever make the decision to break up with someone or get with someone when you are under the influence of some kind of fruity drink mixed with vodka. So I decided to date him. I was like, okay, we kind of made the decision. Like I said, I was horrendously awkward. Then the next day, we went to the same community college, you know, and he walked me to my class, and I was like, okay, all right, we're doing whatever. And I was like, you know, it was kind of like, we're just like, yeah, we're together. And he's like, okay, we're together, boyfriend and girlfriend. I'm like, yeah. And then he leaned in for like a kiss, and I was like, oh, I'm gonna get a cute little peck before like, my class. No, this guy was like, nothing could have prepared me for that kiss. It was horrible. To this day, I still have to like try to explain it and demonstrate to my friends about how horrible that thing was. Tongue down throat, mouth wide open like a dying, gasping fish. And I went to class like, that wasn't as romantic and wonderful as I thought it would be. Okay, I'm dating this person, and we were like, let's go to, they had a Christian rock concert called Awakening Fest. Does not exist anymore, but it was something that I like to go to. The friend that I usually went with was unavailable, so I got my then best friend, gal pal, and Bob. So I'm like, okay, let's go up into this like Awakening Fest thing, right? And it had been raining, so it was all like muddy, but I was like feeling cute. I had a shirt on, a little mini skirt and all that jazz. So we're walking around and we're doing this thing, right? And I noticed that as we're walking around, you know, I'm going to vendors. I'm like, oh, I like this band. Oh, they got t-shirts. They got whatever. Funnel cake! And as we're doing this, I noticed that in lieu of like holding my hand or my arm or anything like that, he had his hand on my back. And I'm all about PDA. I'm like, show me you love me. I'll show you I love you. All that jazz. I'm not afraid of that. But I noticed it was like less of a, hey honey, it was more of like a, I need to constantly know where you're at, and I need to constantly be like up in your space. Like it didn't matter where I went, he was like, all up on that, you know, and it was very proper. Hand didn't go, you know, down towards the butt or nothing. It was just like right there in the middle of my back constantly, and I'm like, this is a little weird. I never had a guy who was very all up in there like that. So fast forward, we're running around, funnel cake, all that jazz. We get into line for the signing with 1,000 Foot Crutch. If you know that band, woohoo! live it down. And so we're in line right there, and we got the line, and the line curves right around their merch booth. I had not visited their merch booth. I was like, oh, I really want to go to the merch booth. So I was like, my friend Bob and my other friend, my boyfriend Bob and my other friend, I was like, you all stay here. I'm just gonna hightail over that and see what kind of shirt I like. And they had like the same shirt with the same design, but one of them was it was black with a white print, and the other one was black with a pink print. And I was like, which one do I get? So I called my gal pal over, and I said, hey, could you come over and give me your opinion? So she came over, she gave me my opinion, and then we came back, and he was standing there looking at me like this. And I'm like, is something wrong? You okay? You gonna pass out? The sun getting to you or whatever? And he was like, well, I felt kind of like, I don't know if he said shunned, or I felt kind of like rejected or whatever, because I had my gal pal come over, and I was like, dude, it was gal time. We were shopping. I wanted her opinion on which shirt she liked better. And so we're having this conversation. It goes on for a little bit of while. And then I can't remember how, it was all kind of like a blur. I can't remember how we made it to this point, but at some point he was like, it's okay, I understand, and I forgive you. Just like, you forgive me for what? You forgive me for walking 10 feet over there and having her come over and get my opinion on a friggin' shirt. And my friend who was there with me, she could like tell on the way home, we were in the car and he was somewhere else, and she was like, I can tell this isn't gonna last very long. And I'm like, this is going down like a fat lady on a greased fireball. And so we had that experience, you know, obviously fast forward, not too long, a couple days, because it's literally lasted 1 week. But we go in, we're in the community college, and I'm like, all right, okay, I have to break this off. It's just not working for me. I'm not feeling comfortable. I'm not feeling like this is something that's going to be a great meeting of minds. And I go, and I don't even remember what I said to him. Like, I must have blocked that out of my mind, but I was like, dude, I've enjoyed hanging out with you. You've been a great friend. I think we should still continue to be friends, but I don't think us working together in a relationship is gonna work. Then fast forward to the end of the day, class is over, time for me to go home. At that time I did not drive, so I was like going home with my mom. Mom was like, all right, it's time for us to go. And we get in the car. My mom's like, sweetie, did you break up with a guy named Bob today? And I was just like, yeah, what did he do? And I feel kind of bad, like I'm not here to make fun of nobody, but considering the fact that it was a relationship that was for a week, and I thought we ended on, you know, somewhat good terms. He had apparently gone up to the foyer sitting room where my mother would sit and read, knit, do her thing. And he proceeded to pour his ever-loving heart out to my mother and cried. And was telling my mother how much he loved me, how much he needed me, how much his future wouldn't be the same without me. And my mom apparently sat there, one of my friends saw, she sat there, took his hand and listened, and basically told him that if he really loved me, he would have to let me do what I felt I needed to do, what was best for me. And I will admit, I will be the first to tell you, I have never had a man react to me or react to my existence in such a way. So I was like, okay, all right, okay. Needless to say, things were a titchy bit awkward. Went to the same college. Very small college, and he was still in our friend group, so it was unavoidable that I would eventually see him at some point. And so we're hanging out, and if it's possible, if I'm friends with someone, I would still like to be your friend even after all the whatevers. But I'm like, all right, we can try to make this, you know, be friends. And a couple days later, we were talking, and he was all like, you know, there's only ever really been one girl that I've ever truly been in love with. And I was dumb enough to ask, and who's that? And he just pulled one of these. And he just stared at me for like 15 seconds, giving me these big, giant Bambi eyes of just like, I've only ever loved one person completely in my entire life. And he's staring at me, and I'm like, I'm sorry? The love, the mutual attraction was very one-sided, and now in the future I feel horrible because later in life I got into a kind of a one-sided thing where the love was, or the attraction was on my side, and I'm like, yeah, that can be really painful when you're like, I'm really jonesing for you, but it was just, oh, it was all kinds of weird and funky and going down in the time frame of a week. I was just like, whoo! Then he got a little weird. We would like hang out, like I said, with our group, and he would always like be there, sort of like on the edge, and his social skills were not necessarily the best. I mean, I don't think any one of my group's social skills were the best, but he would stare and sigh really heavily and interject points and make up reasons to not physically bump into me. Well, he would like brush past, or he'd like, oh, I'm sorry. And I'm like, dude, can you make this any more awkward and horrible? I'm just trying to go through college and live my life. And now I'm really good friends with one of his past girlfriends, and actually his ex-fiance. And after they broke up, you know, I didn't want to say anything while they were together. After they broke up, she and I like got together and we're talking about it. And she was like, oh no, honey, he said the exact same thing to me. The whole, I can't live without you. You're the only girl I've ever loved, and yada yada. I'm like, dang, girl. And so she and I just kind of like, water under the bridge, dodged a bullet there. So I don't know if that was really a story time or just me talking and rambling about my shortest relationship ever. But I have been wanting to do videos that are like more talking about other things that aren't just makeup. So definitely let me know if you like this kind of video, and I can scrounge up some other experiences in my life that might merit camera time that don't take 2 minutes to like do. Let me know the craziest person you were in a relationship, or the craziest friend you had, either or. Let's hear your stories down in the comments below. Thank you guys so much for watching. I love you, and as always, keep it real.